Welcome to the Roll for Regret podcast.
The icy tendrils of the Everlasting Rime have retreated from the region of Icewind Dale 3 years ago. Their frozen grip loosened by the bravery of the Iron Wolves, the heroes of Ten Towns. Ariel, the Frost Maiden's malevolent shadow, is no longer cast on the land, and the people of the towns commemorate that fact by incorporating her defeat with the celebrations of Greengrass, a holiday which already marks the end of winter and the beginning of spring, a time of renewal, rebirth, and the blossoming of new life. Against all odds, the communities of Ten Towns stand resilient. The end of the rime is more than a triumph over the endless winter. It's a victory against despair, a rebellion against fate itself. The people see this particular Greengrass not just as a festival, but as a rite of renewal, a promise of life after death, dawn after night. It has taken 3 years for the people to rebuild after the devastation of the Shardland Dragon, that terrible construct which was released upon them 3 years ago by the mad Duergar King Zardaruk Sunblight. Most of the reconstruction is finished, and that which remains is going to be completed this summer. This Greengrass celebration feels like the first festival in which the people can finally move forward. Plans were quickly put into motion for the most extravagant Greengrass that Icewind Dale has ever seen. The locals have taken to calling it the Dawn of the Thaw. It is to be a testament to endurance and a tribute to those who were lost. In the days leading up to the festival, the air in each town is alight with the sounds of hammers and saws, laughter and song. Merchants and traders from southern lands, hearing news of the rime's end, have begun to trickle back into the region, their wagons loaded with exotic goods and their pockets filled with coin. Yet even as joy fills the air, questions loom on the horizon. While the people of the towns prepare for their grandest festival, the astute among them recognize that the thaw reveals as much as it hides. The melting snow uncovers both seeds of new life and the bones of unresolved pasts. For heroes like yourselves, the end of the Everlasting Rime is but a chapter closed in a tome of endless stories. Greengrass is a day of festivities, but it's also a new frontier of new beginnings. A blank parchment awaiting the ink of your deeds. Welcome, adventurers, to the dawn of the Thaw. So, as we start our session today, we'll go around and kind of touch base on each of you and find out what exactly, or I'll kind of tell you a little bit of what you're up to. Some of you have new roles or responsibilities that have been attributed to you given your positions, your newfound positions. Positions that you have had for the past 3 years, and some of those responsibilities you would be tending to at this very moment. Probably of all of you, the one that we're going to start with is our good friend Linus. Being the speaker of East Haven, you have a lot of things to tend to in relation to this particular Greengrass festival. It was decided sometime last year in the meetings of the speakers of Ten Towns that this Greengrass would be like the sort of major celebration for the towns. In the past 2 years, the past two Greengrass holidays that have come up, the towns were still in shambles or still being rebuilt. And the speakers felt like it wasn't really an appropriate time to allow for like a large festival, right? Given everything that still had to be done. But now that everything's basically done, it's time to finally set down all of the hammers and rebuilding, and to go ahead and allow there to be festivities. So, you have really a number of responsibilities that you would need to be putting together. One of which is a dramatic reenactment that you get to put on or sort of dictate and instruct as the as like East Haven's sort of its own sort of portion in the festivities itself. And so I'm going to ask you, Linus, what exactly does this dramatic reenactment look like?
So this is like a dramatic reenactment of the killing of, or the freeing of the Rime of the Frost Maiden. Is that what you're saying?
It would be, I would say, whatever the most significant moments are for the Iron Wolves, in particular, probably relating somehow to the defeating of Aurelia. You can actually switch.
See if I can remember this.
If you can even recall.
Can someone give me a quick recap of that final battle so that I can...
You were all on the
oversell it.
ground, and I killed Oriel.
by single-handedly. Single-handedly. If you recall,
I'm time behind.
you all went to the buried city of Ithrin, the lost Netherese city of Ithrin, and used the Mythalar. I believe Nasher, in particular, used the Mythalar to let there be a summer. Or was that... I'm sorry, excuse me, that was Njord, who used Mythalar to let there be a summer. And that angered Ariel enough that she showed up to defeat you, or to fight you. And during that fight, you managed to basically defeat her at the, like, next to this massive star. This small star, which is the Mythalar artifact that was used to control the flying city.
Okay, so you want me to just take off right here? I'm giving the...
So we will say at this moment, you are preparing the cast, giving them a rousing speech as they are preparing for their debut of the reenactment that they've been rehearsing. You can almost imagine like Thor style. Was it the, I don't know if you, was it Thor
Ragnarok.
Dark World, or no, Ragnarok or whatever, the one where they have like the reenactment of Thor fighting the Dark Elves. Anyways, so however you want that to go.
Do you want me to describe my character first?
Yes.
Okay.
Also, let's do that.
Okay, just really quick then. So I am playing Linus Maxwell, who stands 5 foot 6 inches tall, though he appears shorter as he is a bit hunched over. He is an old man at 69 years old, with chapped lips and bags under his eyes. He has wispy white hair, though he's mostly bald in front. His clothes look expensive, but a bit dirty and not well cared for. He walks with a staff in a way that suggests it is not to help him walk, but rather an accessory. And he's also missing an eye and has an eye patch.
So, you have there your cast before you. There is, we'll say, oh, you know what? We'll roll for it. Your cast has a whopping one person in it.
Well, is that two, including
just
me?
you.
Because obviously I'm playing myself.
If you want to partake in the reenactment,
Yeah.
you're very welcome to.
So, all right, kid.
I rolled a d10. Got a 1.
Are you ready? Are you ready for this performance? Because now, this is an undertaking. Now, I really don't make me regret casting you for everybody in the Iron Wolves. Okay? Because I'll be honest here, you look a little too flabby to be Njord.
What you're looking at is a man who is somewhere in his 40s, late 40s. He is balding, a little overweight. He's the guy who always, like, during construction was always the first one to, like, quit to take his break, and always the last one to return from break. He's one of those guys who would much rather be spending his time out on the water fishing than doing anything productive. And he's a catch and release kind of guy too, so he like doesn't even keep the fish. He just like fishes and then just goes, there's no purpose to keep these, and he just gets rid of them. So as you're looking at him, he's at that moment, as you're talking to him, he's staring at no less than 6 costumes and the costume changes that he has to manage, and the various different people that he has to play, ranging from villains to allies. And he also is sweating as he's pouring over what is a lengthy script that you have written for him.
Look, I don't care if you miss a line here and there. The key is don't upstage me. You understand that? This is the Iron Wolves. I am the leader of the Iron Wolves, and people need to know it. Hey, I got an election coming up. We can't afford to lose any people here. And where's the pyrotechnics guy? Because is this the pyrotechnics? That's not enough. We need more.
That was everything I could get. I literally had 3 days to put everything together.
Here, give it. Where's Walter? Walter! Get this guy some gold.
Standing nearby, tending to what is otherwise far more important business as far as the festivities go, is a warforged construct kind of individual. And he, you know what? Sure, why not? We'll let you play your other character. Go ahead and just briefly describe Walter as he sort of walks over, having to put on hold the town's guard who are in the middle of asking him some very important questions.
Okay, so Walter, he's of medium build. You see basically the equivalent of an oval to an orb with a pair of slit eyes that glow faintly green from inside. But as you travel down, you see the wood and metal meshes together to form a body, an amalgamation of the two. And at the center of it, you can see what appears to be a large seed with growth stretching out, and that's where you see it filling in the sections of the metal to form his limbs, stretching down to his hands and feet. He steps forward. Yes, sir. What do you have in mind?
Well, we need more explosions. We really, we gotta sell it. This has got to be big. Well, and I would kill for a drink right now too, when you get a chance.
Yes, sir. Were you thinking tea, or were you thinking something?
Oh no, something much stronger.
Stronger as in wine or whiskey?
Whatever you can find. Whiskey.
Right. I'll go look for it shortly. By the way, about the pyrotechnics, if you had kept the necklace of fireballs that Nord had, like I told you, we wouldn't have to worry about this.
I told you there was an incident in the brothel.
Yes, which we are still technically...
That's why I stopped carrying that necklace around.
Indeed, and we're still paying for the recovery of the young lady's garments that were seared away during the process. She thankfully is fine.
Could have been much worse, that's for sure.
Yes, indeed. So, right, the pyrotechnics. I suppose we could try and see some sort of hedge wizard, local one, if he's still around. I think, what was his name? Snard? I can't remember his name for the life of me.
That sounds right, I think it's Snard, yeah.
I never remembered his first name. I mean, the last name is pretty distinct. Anyway, shall I go look for him then?
The drink first, and then look for him.
Yes, certainly, of course, he says. If his expression were not already made of wood, you could tell it would be rather wooden in appearance. He turns and deftly leaves the room, looking for alcohol with which to feed Linus.
As you are getting ready to return back to your actor ally, you begin to hear something, a familiar sound to you, coming in over, kind of coming in through the window. It is the sound of chanting and the many rhythmic footsteps of what you know to be the Reged nomads, which are apparently on their way to East Haven. Njord, you've been aware that the Greengrass Festival is going to be rather large this year, and I believe have taken it upon yourself to provide the people of 10 Towns with some trade goods, and sort of like in developing a stronger relationship between the people of the towns and the tribes of the Reged nomads, which you have, over the past 3 years, diligently brought together into a single tribe. The Everlasting Rime wasn't kind to the Reged nomads, and the tribes were fractured severely for multiple reasons. Beyond that, they just naturally were fractured, but they suffered in various different ways. Some of them resorting to cannibalism, and other ones mad rulers, one of whom was your own mother. And you have rallied your people early that morning and are bringing them to 10 Towns. And as you guys approach, it is nomadic custom to begin to sing the Song of Tempest, which is both a song that is used to indicate that you use to rouse yourself for a coming battle, but also to announce your arrival into a location. Multiple purposes for this, but the main purpose at this point is to awaken the people of 10 Towns to your arrival, as they should be, for such a prestigious king and powerful tribe as you guys approach. So, if you wouldn't mind, take a moment
and sing the song.
Sing the song if you care to.
I don't know enough Norwegian to be able to translate it accurately. I will describe my character, however.
Please.
As the song is sung and it reverberates through the air from 100 or so throats as the people arrive, Njord himself towards the front of this column of his folk, standing much above, like a head taller than quite a few of them, a very giant of a man. Long blonde hair, stroking, falling, cascading down over his shoulders. He's grown a beard in the interim, and it's grown long and flowing as his hair as well. And his piercing blue eyes kind of look out over East Haven, this place that he has known and he has fought for, and he's come to time and again through both the adventures of the Iron Wolves and also through the years as he's built up his tribe. He kind of sees it as kind of a second coming home in a way, coming back to 10 Towns, and this way into 10 Towns is kind of the path that he's come many different times over the years. And you can see him in his full armor, full plate armor. He has Aegis Fang, his Warhammer, sitting proudly on his back, ready at any moment in case of need, but in this moment, being a time of festivity and celebration, probably less likely to have to need it. But he comes in, long flowing cloak. He's wearing a crown on his head, made of iron and inlaid with both bear claws, saber-tooth fangs, wolf teeth, and a pair of elk antlers that are all representative of the 4 different tribes united under one king as he comes in. And he's surrounded by 4 of his honor guard gentlemen, warriors who are each powerful from each of the 4 tribes, one of them wearing bear regalia, the other one wearing antlers and the buckskin hide of an elk, a third one wearing the saber-tooth cowl that comes over his face and the 2 fangs in front of his eyes, and then the final one wearing a wolf pelt to signify his place amongst the wolf tribe. And you can see that these 4 represent each parts of the 4 corners of the Ragged Men, and then in their center is Njord, kind of wearing the regalia of all 4 to represent his place there. And he's holding in one of his arms a child around 2 years old. And just behind him, coming up behind the group of warriors that he has, is a lovely and yet powerful shield maiden of a woman carrying another child as well, another boy. And they come strolling up, singing at the top of their lungs, the kids squealing and laughing as they arrive.
So, Linus, naturally, you're drawn out to greet your friend, but then also to, try to get people back to work and everything, because the appearance of the Reged tribe always draws a crowd. And as they are coming down from the north, the people of East Haven have sort of gathered around the edge of the town and are watching them. There's this air of anxious anticipation amongst the townsfolk. The tribe itself, even being far smaller than really it's ever been, is always an intimidating presence. And they are sort of just watching, and as you step out, they part easily for you. And they know that the Reged tribes are their allies, but there's still such a strenuous history between them that they can't help but feel a little shaken at the presence of the tribes.
How long has it been since I've seen Njord?
Njord makes an appearance probably like maybe 3 or 4 times a year.
Okay.
So it's probably been a few months, and the last time you saw him is when you informed him that there was going to be a festival, and so he is returning at this point.
Okay, so I'm expecting him.
You're expecting him, yeah.
Njord, oh, thank God you're here. I need you to play Nasher in this play. This guy can't act.
Linus,
Come
it's
on,
good to see you
go get
as
some
well.
makeup and some wardrobe for this guy, please. Also, put that child down. You shouldn't pick up people's children.
This is my son,
Oh, right.
Torbjorn.
I'm
Say
sorry.
hello, Tor.
He shyly buries his face into his dad's shoulder.
That's no way to greet Uncle Linus. Show your face.
Yeah.
There you go,
no,
boy.
No, don't touch me. I don't like kids. They're sticky.
Now, they are quite sticky. I agree with you there.
But yeah, we have no time. I need you. We're gonna do this play. It's gonna be big. There's gonna be some pyrotechnics. So
Well, Linus, I can't help you with pyrotechnics, but my people have brought plenty of trade goods here and plenty of meat. We took down a mammoth and have brought meat for the festival
That
to
is
join in.
wonderful. That's good. Just make sure people know that it's being supplied by East Haven, specifically me. I have an election coming up. This
Well,
has got to be big.
It's coming from the Reged men, and I'll put in a good word and say
Well,
that you
yeah,
were the one who informed me of the
orchestrated
festival and
by
encouraged
Linus.
us to bring the trade goods. And,
You know, hey,
yes, I'll put in a good word for you with the rest
The
of the
Iron
council.
Wolves. We're still a collective. I don't care how far apart we've been. We're still the Iron Wolves. And we got to help each other out here.
True. And I will put in a good word saying that you were the one who encouraged us to make this happen and who invited us formally to join.
That's all I'm asking. Now get to wardrobe. We got some work to do.
I have some other things to attend to before I make it to wardrobe, mostly making sure that these goods make it to the festivity grounds and are equally distributed amongst where they need to be. I have also people's lodgings to arrange outside of the town and make sure that everything is comfortably situated for my people. But I will be back to share a drink with you at least in as short a time as possible.
Fair enough. Well, it's good to see you, you old
It's
bastard.
good to see you as well.
The festivities that Njord mentioned are happening across all of the towns. Primarily, however, they would be occurring in Bryn Shander. So, Njord, you would be making your way that way. Would you like to accompany Linus?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So, walking together, you guys make your way along the east way from East Haven to Bryn Shander. This is a trek that you're very familiar with, both of you, that your fondest memories of come from the Everlasting Rime itself, during which a simple trek that really takes somewhere in the realm of an hour, or I think probably a couple hours without the snow, turns into like an 8-hour trek. Like it really is, with all the blizzard and snow that Aurel had brought, the trek was almost unbearable. But with this brisk 40-degree weather in probably one of the warmest green grass days that Icewind Dale had seen. The hottest it gets in the summer, by the way, in Icewind Dale, it's like 70. Just to give you a sense of how cold it is there, generally speaking. You guys make your way into Bryn Shander, where there is all kinds of activity going on. As you guys are making your way in, Linus, you pass a small shop that you're familiar with. This is a shop belonging to your friend Nasher. Nasher, go ahead for a moment and describe your shop, and then as Linus goes in to see you, you can describe Nasher.
Nasher's shop would be a building set aside near the center of town for the production of scrimshaw. Nasher's dream was to go to Icewind Dale and become a proficient scrimshaw crafter, and he has so far achieved that goal. He employs a apprentice at his shop who is learning the trade as well. Nasher himself is a tall human male, not quite as tall as Njord. He has brown hair, green-blue eyes. He, at the moment, is wearing what you would expect a craftsman who works with fine tools be wearing simple cloths. Ornate in a sense. He's definitely been in contact with his fellow merchants in Waterdeep and sent for some fine clothing from there. He is working in the shop and has done quite well at cornering the market of what is left of the scrimshaw trade.
So as you walk inside, you can see Nasher is there sitting at a table, and at that very moment has a large magnifying glass that's being held by an arm, and he's sort of looking through it, very intricately carving into the head of a knucklebone trout. What are you carving?
Currently, Nasher would be carving the final battle as a commemoration for
The Greengrass
the
Festival.
Greengrass Festival.
The dawn of the Thaw.
As a commemoration, he's carving the final battle with the Iron Wolves all gathered together, doing battle against Orreal. And with some around the edges, he's got some of the depicting some of the scenes, the time when he was a giant, the time when they were battling the arch or the lich, the demi, or is it the demi lich?
Yeah.
Yes, the demi lich of Earl Arthas. Or is it?
Ariel Arthas.
Yes, and so he's kind of got this whole scene kind of depicting the journey, at least the later stages, right, of the Iron Wolves and their conquest over Orreal and the freeing of the people of Tentons.
And I'm assuming that I see Nasher semi-regularly if he's been around.
Yeah, you've seen him a few times, and he lives in Brinchander and has a shop here. So anytime you would be visiting Brinchander, you could pop in and see him.
As I live and breathe, if it isn't Nasher.
Linus, it's so good to see you.
Well, you've certainly been making progress on this little project.
It is a dream of mine to see this finished and to be able to present it to the people of Tentons.
Wonderful. I need you to play Njord in this play.
We've talked about this, Linus. I'm
Quick. It's going to be a quick
Njord.
one.
Why wouldn't I play myself?
Well, between you and me, Njord can't really act.
So you wanted to... Wait, you want me to play... I can't do it, Linus. I'm not an actor. It would not be... What about that guy you picked up 3 days ago? What was his name?
Terrible.
He
He
seemed...
can't get the voices right. He's not the right size. Look, I got an election coming up. I'm pretty stressed, if I'm telling the truth. And I need that trick. Walter!
You're the leader of the Iron Wolves, if I remember correctly. Who's not going to vote for you?
That's true, but there's been a couple scandals, as I'm sure you've heard.
Fun little scandals, yes,
There was
I've
an
heard.
incident in a brothel with a fireball.
I heard she was fine.
Oh, more or less.
You can't spin that.
She started
You're
talking
Linus.
after a few weeks.
Oh, well. I'll put in a good word for you around here. I have quite a few contacts. I think we can make sure that the people of East Haven know who keeps them safe.
That's why you've always been one of my favorite Iron Wolves. As he looks over at Njord.
Njord's still kind of in the doorway, still handling with the kid and talking with his wife outside, and then comes in and says hi to Nasher as well, and gives him a slap across the back, and that brotherly sort of way.
Walter walks up and he hears me say that they're my favorite Iron Wolves, and he's got the drink and he just turns around.
Just dashes it in the floor and then walks out.
Walks all the way from East Haven to Brinchander with the drink. And then
Just to hear me talk say he's not my favorite.
So, outside, there's a constant crowd of people outside in the streets, again, preparing themselves for the festival. And as you guys are kind of catching up, you can hear a number of gasps, and people are looking up into the sky. And your first thought, Njord, is your heart sinks, as the last time you've seen anybody react in this way, there was a dragon involved made of Chardolin, and it was terrifying and terrible. And so for the brief moment, you just flash back to this thing. And you too, Nasher, as well. They're your first thought. I mean, you being the one to deliver the final blow to the dragon itself. And you instinctively sort of begin to reach for your weapons. And they're pointing up at something that is in the air.
I rush out of the house. I have my wife and kid go into the house, and I look up into the sky, pulling out Aegis Fang, ready for
See,
anything.
flying overhead, a griffin. It sails kind of along this way and then sort of takes a turn and then comes back. It's kind of circling overhead. As you look up, you see flying overhead a griffin. It's kind of going back and forth, and it seems to be sort of circling in the air.
Is this a sight that I have seen once or twice before? Something that I would expect? Or is this something that is completely out of the ordinary for Newark?
Probably haven't seen it.
You're aware of what a griffin is. It's bizarre to see one here.
He eyes it suspiciously and tries to kind of follow its movements as it floats across the sky, moving his way through crowds. And as it kind of begins to make an arc and circle back, Nasher, you notice that there's someone on its back.
Well, I'm going to stow my weapons. And then shout as loud as I can, "Get down here, quit scaring these people."
The griffin banks around. You can see its head and the rider both appear to be looking at you guys' general area. Sorry, trying to lean on the mic. All right. Before it eventually swoops in close, its wings fanning, sending dust and small unattended items flying slightly through the air as it beats its wings, slowing itself before finally landing. It's larger than a horse, easily the size of a dire wolf or more. Its graceful raven feathers coating across the back of its neck, leading into almost a mix. The feathers expand in a mane, but it's still feathers, intricately, they fold back. You see it rests its wings to its size and begins to prune the feathers along its chest. And the rider steps off and hops to the ground before approaching you, strutting with typical confidence. Orion Ghost Bear. After his reincarnation, Orion's features have changed considerably. While no longer nearly 8 feet tall, he's been as he was as a Goliath, he's still pretty tall at 6'7". His medium-length white hair, which he keeps slicked back, has been drained of all color, apparently as some side effect of having been directly slain by the hand of the winter goddess herself, and his stern eyes now shine a pale frozen blue. His elven features and physique ripple with muscle, and he's not unabashed about going bare-chested, even in the deep of winter, with only his studded leather breeches and an enormous fur-lined greatcoat for protection. At his side, he keeps a well-worn longsword, a horn, and a spell component pouch, while on the other hip, he keeps his most treasured possessions, a cylinder inherited from his former master and covered in runes about the size of a sword handle, and the other is a great spellbook with intricate markings and a clasp in the shape of a serpentine Merilith demon. He strides forward. "It's been some time, my friends. How have you been?"
So, are we well aware that he is now in the body of an elf?
Yeah, so those of you who have been around, you would have seen and interacted with Orion a handful of times. But he is the speaker of Lonelywood, so you all would recognize, or you would know him that way as well. But beyond just being, you would know him primarily as your friend and adventurer, okay, primarily. But he's also the speaker of Lonelywood. That's where he spends most of his time. And it is kind of out of the way from the main town itself, which is probably where you guys would be coming to do most of your day-to-day things. But yes, you would have encountered him a number of times, maybe even regularly, perhaps.
We also probably were there at his reincarnation.
Yes, you were there also at his reincarnation, so you're aware of what he looks
That's
like.
an important backstory.
The Griffin is new.
The griffin is new,
Yes.
Norn says bluntly.
I obtained my family's legacy. I have went back and caught up with the folks. They were glad I was not dead, since they haven't seen me since I was 13. Still, it was nice to raise my inheritance. Windchaser is pretty good at not eating people's cattle when I don't tell him to. Or at least whatever animals they have locally, although I will admit that first week was a little rough. Several dogs and cats may have gone missing. It's fine now, to say the least. Don't worry, he's trained, Orion says as he reaches over and gently, kind of jostles the beak of his griffin, who just kind of ruffles itself and then goes back to preening.
It is still so weird to look at you You look so different. But I got a question. Can you get me one of those? He points to the griffin.
My people are somewhat possessive of their work.
I don't like doing this, but we kind of brought you back from the dead here.
Orion kind of gives you a strange look. Yes, I'm quite aware that I owe you for bringing me back. Perhaps it is something...
I don't want anything to be between us. You know that I would have done that anyway. I'm just saying.
Certainly, Linus. Perhaps we could discuss it on another occasion. But
Great,
in the
I'll hold you to
meantime, we're here for a celebration. By the way, I heard about your play. I have a better solution rather than you trying to Shanghai our companions into some sort of play. You and I both have major image. We need no actors.
Now that's an idea. We can do that. That might be better.
This is why I'm the brains.
Okay.
Anyway, Nord, you have offspring.
Yes, I do. I don't think any of you have met them so far. These are my boys, Torsten and Torbjorn. And they're both at around 2 years of age. They're identical twins.
And you're locked into that?
Yeah.
Okay. Great. I love it.
I mean, it's recorded now, so.
They're adorable. And Orion will step forward and kind of like crouch down next to whichever one is standing closest to you.
I thought we said Linus. You're gonna name one of them Linus.
You said that. I never said anything of the kind. This is Torbjorn, and he has Torbjorn in his arms and completely ignores Linus as he presents the child to Orion.
These children they look like their father. Blonde hair, like dwarf. They look like small cherub versions of Njord.
Sans beard
and rippling biceps, but you have a feeling that they're working
biceps
on those.
They're big for 2-year-olds.
They're big for
Jack 2-year-olds.
They're getting there.
You have quite shoes to step into, but I'm sure your stride will be long enough to accommodate your father's shadow. And he ruffles the hair of Torbjorn before standing back up. I will admit, in this form, it is hard to resist the urge to try and loom. I cannot do that quite as well as I used to.
As he stands like a good 2 feet taller than me.
Yes, there have been some adjustments, but again, we can talk of that later. We must celebrate.
That's what we're here for.
Yes.
There is, at that moment, you can hear someone calling out, make way, excuse me. And as you turn, you guys can see that there is a small group of people, probably about 15 or so. And they're making their way through the town. And they are carrying a casket. And alongside them is kind of leading the way are 3 people. There is first a boy who is kind of being the caller and sort of making sure people are parting the way for this funerary procession to proceed. And then directly behind them are 2 individuals, one of whom you recognize, or both of whom you recognize as being figures from around town. The first one being Nadia Gravehollow. She is the one who is the priestess who has taken up the position of the head priestess of the House of the Morning Lord after it has been rebuilt. And next to her is someone that you recognize, Finn.
Finn, my character. He looks different than you last saw him. He looks more jovial and not so depressed. He's wearing like leather armor, dark leather armor, with a white skeleton hand facing up, holding golden scales on his robe, and he has like a nice long robe hanging on his back. And he's just walking. He has a staff, and you notice he doesn't have his crossbows anymore. his hand crossbows. They are not there. It's just a dagger on his side and a nice like potion bottle of something on his hip, and he's walking with a staff next to him. Black hair, as you know, it's graying. He has just little like gray wisps. You know, Finn can change his shape and whatever, but so you just like let's change it up. Little gray wisps in the beard now, in his beard and his hair, and he does bare skin. He does have his scar on his left side, just going down his whole cheek. And then
they are leading the way. What you recognize this again to be a funerary procession, and you would be aware. Everybody really except for you, Njord, who has no idea of 10-town customs or anything that way. But you would be aware that this is really the last of the funerals that need to be done to honor the dead amongst the from the Everlasting Rime and from the Charlatan Dragon attack, which really wiped out about 2/3 of the population of 10 towns in its attack. And this, being the Greengrass Festival, is really the last one. And so there is a sense of significance to this as the Greengrass, the dawn of the Thaw, as the people are taking to calling it, is sort of signifying the very end of Aurel's and this horrible dragon attacks influence over the towns itself. And as this procession proceeds, people are doing one of two things. Either they are standing quietly and allowing them to pass before continuing about their business, or they are simply joining in and sort of following to be a part of the last procession, regardless of whether or not they knew this individual who's being buried, just as a more of a symbolic thing to recognize the ending of Aurel's influence here. And so you all step into line and kind of follow along as the procession continues. Njord, you have instructed your men and your tribe to begin to set up the feasting table, which is to be done in the kind of in the town square. And so they're in the process of doing that and getting the foods prepared and stoking fires for cooking and all these things as you accompany the procession as it makes its way forward. Nadia is a woman of regal posture, standing about 5'7". She has graying hair, which she keeps tied behind her head in a loose bun. Her eyes are soft blue, like the dawn's first light, and filled with wisdom and years of experience. She wears an elegant robe in shades of light blue and yellow, adorned with motifs of a rising sun, and around her neck hangs a radiant amulet of Lathander. You guys are led outside of town a little ways, to one of the many fields that surround Bryn Shander, where there are several graves that are already set up, like marking stones and fresh graves. And across from the main road is another field where the Thaw games are being set up as well. But for now, people are kind of gathering around. And the hole is already dug for the casket to be placed in, and they are beginning to they place the casket into the ground. And Nadia sort of turns to you and Finn, if you wouldn't mind saying the last rites and prayer, please.
Oh yes. Try to keep this short and sweet, so we can have a fair to get to. But do not be sad that this person is gone, because for new life to begin, the old must go away.
Why did he look at me?
Oh my gosh. So today, on the most jovial of the day, just celebrate this person's life, what they gave to the world, what you experience with them in the world, those memories that they have. And do not be sad, because they're not with you. They are somewhere else, in a better place, in their new adventure, in their new world, experiencing new things. For life to happen, there has to be death. So go today and eat in remembrance of this person, and know that they have walked to the other side with somebody. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Do we know this person?
Tell you what, we'll leave it up to dice. I like these are good. These are
I
good
would
dice
say,
questions.
is it what's her face?
Who's what's her face?
Like, no, the person who died in the one shot.
Oh, that died.
Valen.
Yeah.
Oh no, she died far away from you guys.
Okay.
They would not have shipped her all the way back.
Yeah, that would have been. No.
The price of the ice alone.
Wait, so this is 3 years later, and we're just now having a funeral for this person?
We're
Well,
finishing
so
up.
the funeral. So that's a good question. So this is the last of the funerals that have occurred over the past 3 years. Because remember, 2/3 of the towns has died.
So they spaced it out to give everybody their day. kind of
Well,
thing.
you kind of. Not that everybody gets their own day, because even then you would only have, like 900 days or something, but it was something like 2,000 people died. And so there was a level of significance to this being the last of the processions. Icewind Dale, and 10 towns in particular, has been day in and day out rebuilding and funeral services. Just constant, which is more than half the reason why Nadia has been so protective of Finn in keeping him away from the rest of you during the past 3 years. Beyond that, he was undergoing what she was calling religious transformation. I mean, the gods were working on him, as far as what she told you. But he also had business to attend to. He had things to do, and she needed help. And so, and doing these funeral services was part of that. So again, this being the dawn of the Thaw commemorates the last, the ending of Aurel's reign of terror over Icewind Dale, the final rebuilding of everything, and sort of the cathartic release of seeing the towns be renewed finally. And so there's very much a symbolic thing here. Anybody who is here at this moment, beyond just recognizing the importance, they're thinking of those that they had already had funeral services for. They are thinking of the struggles that they had to overcome. There's a lot of things that is going through their minds here, and it's sort of it's just the symbolic setting down of those things, so they can feel like they can finally move on, right? So as far as who this individual is, you can ask around if you want to find out who exactly this person was, but it's really a regular occurrence here, and it was happening in East Haven and all around the towns throughout the past 3 years. But this is the last one of these particular ones. I mean, anybody who died during a job site build or whatever, it's a different thing, but this is the last of the funeral services relating to the Everlasting. So, Finn, as you say as you kind of give your last little speech there in relation to the end of the rhyme, Nadia just kind of gives you a smile and a pat on the back. I'm going to head to the temple and just relax for a little while. Please go enjoy the festivities, and I'll see you later.
Oh, I will. Pat my belly. Oh.
And so you are left. As you look around, you can see your allies are there. They've kind of gathered around.
I'm going to walk up to him. Hello, friends.
Finn,
Hello.
And it's so good to see you.
Is
Good to
that
see you, my friend.
is that
look at this.
really you?
The Iron Wolves back together again. I knew this day would coming, and does it put a smile on my face?
Somewhere in the distance, Walter just shatters some sort of glass.
Wait. I wouldn't know Nathan's character, right? Because I was not there.
You weren't there when he was resurrected or reincarnated. I will leave it up to you.
Fair. I'm going to choose not to.
Okay.
New Iron Wolf?
What?
Look at,
Hold on.
Just a stray we picked up along the way.
makes sense.
No. Oh, it's
I'm going to reach my hand out. Finn, how you doing?
It is good to see you again, Finn. And he offers his hand, and then he pulls Finn into a tight hug. I look a little bit different, but perhaps this will jog your memory.
The breath from your
And-
breath in my ear is very hot.
Orion will step back, and then he will tap the hat of disguise and take on his original appearance.
Oh yeah, I like the new way better.
Nord gives a chiding elbow to Linus.
Ow!
Yeah, Finn just tears up as he sees Orion's face. I meant to go back for you. I'm sorry I wasn't there when...
It's all right, my friend. I appreciate being back amongst the living more than you could possibly imagine. You've changed so much.
Yeah, I almost... I tried to join you. It was difficult after all that time. But I think I've found myself now.
What's changed?
He found religion.
Yeah. As you can see, I am a cleric now of Kellenmore. You know what Kellenmore is?
I am not a book-learned man.
Fair. Kellenmore is the deity who helps people transfer from life to death. And that person who sends them, and after death, it sends them on the way to where they should go.
So it works like the Valkyries of Tempest, ushering people into the next life.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Or my rapier. It's ushered a lot of
Or
people
my hammer.
into the next
Ushering
life. Yeah.
people
That
into the next
seems
life.
like a perfect fit for you, Finn.
Thanks.
I'm glad that you have made that step and you have found
He saved me, so...
semblance of peace.
Yeah, you look good.
He saved me, so what can I do besides dedicate my life to someone who thinks I should live?
You smile now.
Yeah.
This is a good change.
Kind of see why you
Looks
did
like
it
you're
before.
eating well, too.
Oh, boy, you don't even know.
All right.
Well,
No
when
more
you're
drinking
not...
water from melted snow.
Well, I don't have to be skinny anymore to, like, fit through cracks anymore to kill people, so
Oh.
I just...
Can you still do that, though? Just
I go, and I just, like, change into a skinny dude.
Oh, hey,
I
that's
forgot about that part of it.
Yeah,
unsettling.
yeah.
As you release your breath, your release is just,
There you go.
still not used to a changeling.
I'm always afraid that's
pretty
going to
good.
happen at the brothel. She's just going to change. And it's going to be you. I keep having this recurring nightmare.
That'd be a great prank on you.
Yeah, don't get any ideas.
Linus, you and your hobbies.
I've had too much time on my hands.
Well, yeah, after... Yeah, it was just rough for me for a while. So,
It was rough for all of us for some time.
yeah. Fair. I'm glad you guys went and got Orion back. My greatest condolences. I was gonna... Yeah, I've been meaning to go to his burial site, but it's good. I don't have to do that now. So I'll check that off my book.
Then we
I don't have to do
understand.
that.
That's fine. You didn't have to. We understood.
Thank you for doing that for me.
Absolutely.
Thank you for doing that for me as well.
And it's also very good to have you two back as well, Orion. You know what? I think this calls for a horn of mead and some freshly cooked mammoth, which are being provided by my people at this exact moment. So why don't we all join together for a meal tonight?
Yeah.
Sure.
let's eat.
Absolutely.
Drink.
Let's go get first naked.
Like old time's sake. All time we got back together.
It's been too long. I've missed you all.
You guys are so awesome. So, you guys make your way back into Bryn Shander towards the town square, where the Reged tribes are just at this moment finishing setting up the tables, which is several very long tables in the town square, and peppering them with various different allotments of meat. Duvessa has arranged for there to be the speaker, Duvessa Shane, the speaker of Bryn Shander, has arranged for other food to be provided in the as like imported fruits and vegetables from the Sword Coast. And so really before you are cornucopias that are filled with various exotic looking fruits, things that really aren't native to Icewind Dale at all, like oranges and bananas and other things. And it is really shaping up to be quite a festive ordeal. Now, drinks are being provided by your good friend Scramsax,
Scramsax.
the bartender who owns the Northlook Inn. He is providing a number of drinks for the event itself, and as you guys are making your way towards the as you guys are just arriving in the town square, a wagon is being pulled by a donkey, on the back of which are 3 large casks of Shadow Dark Ale, which Scramsax has been, anybody who has visited Scramsax, Nasher, for instance.
Every night.
It's almost annoying how much he has been telling you that he is so excited that the Shadow Dark Ale is back and he can serve it again. He was plumb out by the end of the Everlasting Rime, and he just bulk ordered as much of it as he could. And so the wagon is pulling up, and standing next to that wagon is the red-haired bartender that you are familiar with. He has the short red hair, red beard that is stubble around his face, a strong-looking appearance, and is wearing very nice clothes for a bartender, not his normal apron that he was wearing or that he would wear before, where he would get covered in all kinds of spilled drinks and other things from rabble rousers. But now he is looking quite put together. And he is sort of ordering the casks to be set up on tables and those kinds of things. And he is also providing just a fleet of flagons that would be used as well, in tankards. And all of this is being unloaded to make boxes. And you can hear him, "Careful now, listen. I have more than enough Shadow Dark. More than enough!" And he's making sure everybody hears him. "More than enough Shadow Dark Ale for everybody. But also, we don't want to spill a single drop of this stuff. Do you understand? It's good. It's very good. It's imported. It is important that we are very, very careful and don't, please, gently, thank you. Thank you." Say that. Oh, okay, good. Yes. Okay, finally. Ooh, and he reaches into his vest pocket and pulls out a flask, which he takes a hit of and then puts it away. And, oh gosh, once this day is over, I'm going to take a long, long break. And he's just kind of busying himself over there in the off to the side. You have a number of things available to you to partake in, if you so choose. There are, outside the city, outside of the town of Bridgeander, there are the Thaw games, which are being put together, which, best as you can figure, are just as like a litany of almost Olympic level events, right? So various different archery and axe throwings type things, weightlifting competitions, all these things. There is, as you've heard, some kind of fishing competition that is being put together at one of the lakes in East, or at the lake at East Haven, which is Lac Dinishir. You can do that. Orion has put together a mage duel. Orion has put together a mage duel to take place in Lonelywood. There is also being put together inside the town a treasure hunt that is being organized as well. So you have a choice of the various different things to attend to. The dramatic reenactment is set to occur that evening in East Haven, and so you do have some time to partake in something if you wish.
About what time of day is it by the time we are done with all
We'll
of
say
these?
it's we'll call it 2 o'clock in the afternoon or so. So you've got a few hours to kill. The dramatic reenactment will be happening at sunset, which in this at this time of year for this region we'll call 6:30.
I heard Scramsax has pretty much unlimited mead or drink. Want to challenge that?
I heard something about imported ale.
You want to challenge it? I want to drink him out.
I want to. Yes, I'm sure we.
I'm not on the job anymore.
I have a bunch of thirsty Northmen.
Yeah.
I'm sure we can drink them out if we need to.
I wonder if I can drink you under the table.
I doubt it.
Hey. I could take either one of you guys.
To the grave? Yeah, you're going first. I'll be there.
All right.
Ushering you away.
Fair enough. That's always how I wanted to go.
I'll be there right by your side.
Let's do it.
As long as I deem it necessary.
I do have a performance later, so you better get it on then. Right now.
Very good.
Get some time to sober up.
Nice and crispy for your performance.
You know I always perform better with a nice buzz. Or
As
just
do we all, my friend.
blackout drunk, either way.
Come along, Nasher. This should be interesting, to say the least.
Can't wait to see it.
I think we're taking up
Scramsy.
Scramsax on his.
Scramsy.
My boy.
As you turn, you call out to Scramsax, and he turns. He looks at the lot of you, and he at first is elated. You can see his eyes kind of light up, and he smiles, and then he goes, "No. There has to be enough drink to go around. I really, really need this to stretch as much as it can."
I'm going to start whistling the tune that the Knucklehead Trout would sing.
We're powerful enough. We
So,
can read it.
for those of you who aren't aware, as you would recall from the first campaign, Scramsax in the Northlook Inn had a knucklehead trout, which is a large red trout that hung on his wall, and it was called Old Bitey. And it had a strange enchantment on it that anytime anyone walked near, the thing would turn and begin to sing a song, kind of like talking bass style, or the talking bass style thing. And it would sing. Linus, being the caring, loving person he is, disenchanted this thing, so it no longer... Did you? No, yeah, okay, you did, right.
If I
Didn't drive the man insane.
Disenchanted it so it ceased to drive him insane, and ever since he has been quite thankful and cooperative in anything that you needed. And so, in whistling the old tune that old Bitey used to sing, he kind of pauses and let's make a deal. I'll give you something else, stronger drink. Okay.
Oh, we're listening.
Okay. Let's, well, I didn't bring it with me, so come on back to the Northlook and we will crack open some of that dwarven fire ale I have.
Ooh.
That is something I am ready to take advantage of. Yes.
All right.
Very good.
Been a while.
You follow him down to the Northlook Inn, which is a large inn, but it's quaint and comfortable. And as you come inside, there's Old Bitey sitting there, and as you walk by, fortunately for Scramsax, it does not turn and begin to sing. And it is, the place is, it's got a few patrons, but most people are out getting ready for the festivities and already partaking in some events. And Scramsax kind of puts his hand on a table, allows you all to sit down, and then he makes his way into the back. And a few moments later, he comes back with a small cask. The cask has on the side of it the symbol of the Battlehammer clan, which is a foaming mug. This is something that you would recognize to be imported directly from the Dwarven Valley, which is just north of Bryn Shander. And as he sets it down, he turns the tap and pours a flagon and begins to serve up to each of you. Now, listen. If you take a drink and you feel something beginning to bubble up inside, I just ask, please, either open that window and through the window or run outside. But do not let that out in here.
Why? What's it going to do? Strip
Well,
off?
I just don't want to have to clean everything up.
I can cover you that.
Why are you looking at me?
Well, all of you. Looking at you. You drink a lot. I'm looking at you and you. All of you need to just keep yourselves together. All right? Please. And if you feel like it's coming out, take it outside. Deal?
Fair enough.
Fair enough.
Sure.
So you all have your flagons of Dwarven Fire Ale. As you pick it up, and you can smell right away. It's got a very sort of cinnamon, hot smell to it, fragrance. It stings the back of your noses right away. It is quite potent. It's a combination of alcohol and like this sort of cinnamon burn.
You know, the last time I had this stuff while we were here, I still hit my head on the beams. I will admit, not being tall is finally nice. At least for this specific instance.
I'll drink to that.
Look, there is even still the dent.
So you all take your drinks.
Chugging. I'm staring at Nord.
I need Constitution
Just a
saving
single
throw.
drink.
Remember, as a paladin,
First
you
roll.
all get a +3.
You do.
You said a
First roll of the campaign.
Gosh, that's
Constitution save,
dirty.
please.
It's so good.
Classic.
All right, so going around.
I got it. Let me add this up. 19 plus 8. Okay, 27, 29, 30, 33.
Okay, well, you guys are level 12, so
Alcohol doesn't affect you at all.
I
Like,
would
how do you
expect
ever get
nothing
drunk?
less.
18.
18,
25.
25.
Goodness gracious, guys! Holy cow!
These guys can drink.
That's why I challenged him.
17. 17.
2.
Okay,
Well, plus 3.
Oh, 5.
5. Cool. Got a whopping 5.
Oh, it'll be 28 then.
I'm still conscious.
Okay, so if you rolled greater than an 18, you gain resistance to fire damage for the next hour. As you can feel this warm sensation in your belly. Each of you do feel this warm sensation, and those of you who rolled higher than 18 managed to keep it down, and you can feel that warmth kind of spread throughout your body. The two of you, however, rolling less than 18, find yourselves, that bubbling sensation is beginning to rise. You have a split second to decide what to do.
Straight up.
Okay.
I'm gonna run outside.
Okay. Nord,
Being kind to.
he drinks and and then quickly turns and runs out the front door. You, however, just lean back. You recognize this as a burp, is how you're registering it. So you just turn your head up and you release this thing. To your surprise, as you run outside and you open your mouth, and what you're expecting is vomit, fire shoots out of your mouth. A cone of flame comes out of your mouth, and you, as you lean up and look to the heavens, release a gout of flame into the rafters of the Northlook Inn, which immediately catch fire. And Scramsax is, Linus, I trusted you. Why?
I can pay for that. Look, we can't let this get out.
It's beginning to sizzle.
Put it out.
Orion, can you cast something here?
Orion will climb up onto the table, and will actually hop up. And as he basically shoves his hand into the flames, he will cast Absorb Elements to try and draw the flame into the spell.
Okay. Give me. Go ahead and roll a percentile dice. Give me a D100.
51%.
Okay, you managed to collect about half of it. As you reach your hand up and you absorb, instantly it's just smoldering, and smoke just kind of goes up. Some embers kind of fall to the ground, but there's still like 2 rafters that are ablaze or beginning to cook.
I'm going to pull my bottle of holy water, and as Nord is outside, I'm going to cast Bless on me, Nasher, and Orion. All right? But I'm going to also chuck the water up at the ceiling, so I'm like hiding that I'm doing this. I'm like, but I'm just going to cast it. I don't care. And I'm just going to shoot it up. I don't really care where the water goes. I'm mainly casting Bless, so you advantage on saving throw.
Okay, well, it kind of onto the flames a bit.
Did all I could do. That's expensive.
Scramps, you useless, and he gets up and runs away. He comes back a moment later with a pitcher of water.
Is there any water,
Each up
there like a
less.
sink
The
somewhere?
Well, there would be water in
basin?
the back. There's like a water basin in the back.
So I'll run back there to see if there's water back there.
Yeah, so Scramsax he's got a pitcher, and then you can see next there's a bucket next to the water basin.
Yeah, I'll go and grab that bucket.
Yeah, so,
and-
all right, then working together, you guys throw up. Now, you throw the water up and put it out. Now the place is drenched and smoldering. Now, outside, you release just a gout of flame the second you walked out the door. And as you did, we're going to do this. Go ahead and roll a d4. I like dice.
2.
to see how many children are out there.
It's your children.
2.
I work so hard for those kids.
You open the door, and as you do, 2 of the town guard were walking by, and as you come out with your mouth beginning to almost drip fire, one of them quickly turns and hides behind the other one, who gets blasted with the flame, just immediately engulfed in the flames, and he's screaming there before you, and he's just freaking out. Go ahead and roll 2d6.
Oh no! You just hit him with a great sword.
9.
Okay. He drops to the ground. He is alive, but on fire. And the guy behind him is just looking down. By the gods, the nomads are attacking!
Oh, no.
Did you really say that?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a good look. Anybody
Oh my
but
God.
you.
I am going to. I mean, I like have my hands out to like no, please. But at the same time, I still have flames gouting from my mouth. So I'm just like trying to like as best I can with my body language be apologetic. I'm like trying to put out the guy who's on fire. I'm like looking up at the guy like.
You burp and
Yeah, it's just like there's still like
bits of
smoke and little sparks coming out of my mouth, and it's just trying to like, no.
Did that guard die?
Please, no, it's not it's the whiskey. It's the. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I will pay for the medical bill, please.
Do I hear this with my
Oh,
ridiculous...
you guys are aware that there's a commotion going on.
Yeah, gonna run outside.
I'm gonna try
Yeah.
to convince him that
You
this
run
was
outside. There is a
unintentional.
guard laying on the ground in flames, and there is a second guard who is shouting that the nomads are, that the Reged men are attacking.
Are there other people around?
There is a small crowd, and they are all
I-
watching.
I cast mass suggestion.
Do it now.
I know these people.
I have an election coming up.
Well, this went about as well as we'd anticipated.
What should
as well.
I tell him though?
You should wait till we're all at the
Oh
party.
well, okay. Let's find out what happens.
Can I
here.
just say relax to everybody?
You can say whatever you want. Hold
That's
on.
how the Reged Northmen show their love.
Everybody sit down and relax.
Let's look up mass suggestion real quick, so I can just be aware of
It's
the.
super long, so this is going to take a while.
Yeah. So mass suggestion.
Oh, dear.
You suggest a course of activity limited to a sentence or two and magically influence up to 12 creatures of your choice. We'll say there's 11 of them, so fine. You can see within range. Creatures can't be charmed. Okay. They all make wisdom saving throws. What's your DC?
Like 17.
16.
You have a 4 in your thing? Or 5?
4. Yeah, I just got an ability score increase.
Very good. Okay. What do you tell them?
Relax. Everything is okay. Sit down. Is that too long?
10 of the 11 people sit. The last one standing is the guard, who managed to steal himself enough through what apparently is combat that he's entering into at this moment. And he is looking around as everyone just kind of sits, and they just sort of watch you with like a dumbfounded expression. Everything's fine. There isn't a charred body here.
It's an Iron Wolves training exercise, you guys. This is going to be part of the show later. Don't spoil it for other people.
Did you just flashy thing them?
I look at Orion like, heal this guy, heal him. Come on. He's fine, folks. He's an actor. Orion, I guess message. Heal him.
Apparently, someone needs healing out front. Oh, goody.
If they're dead, call me.
Aren't you a priest? Cleric?
Yeah.
No heals? No divine favor?
If they're dead.
Oh, good grief. Orion will step outside to witness the chaos.
It's a charred body, and there's a single guard there who's putting a hand on his sword and
Look, it's Orion. He's here too, folks.
he's
I
drawing his sword.
really thought you would cheer there.
Guardsman, you know me.
And Nasher.
This is all a misunderstanding. You are not under attack. The Reged Northmen are not sieging the town. They are our allies.
Roll a persuasion at disadvantage.
Can I walk outside now?
Sure.
As a
Yeah, you all can
good
go out. Why not?
Alright, I must cast
gonna-
Spare the Dying on the guy on the ground.
He's alive, so it doesn't
Just
work.
to
He's no
make
longer
sure.
he's no longer dying at this moment.
While he is talking with the guard, can I be attempting to provide some sort of
I do.
relief to the burn victim?
Yeah, sure. So as you go down to do that, Finn steps in. He casts Spare the Dying on them to stabilize them. So the guard is still down and horribly burned, but is no longer dying.
I get down next to him. I tell you this, not today.
What was your
13.
13? He kind of pauses for a moment, and he recognizes you, and your friend can't be here anymore. This is an attack against the guard. This is a terrible situation.
Oh. It was an accident. Look, here. It's What's your name, son?
Jackson.
Nice to meet you, Jackson. And I'll shake his hand, and there's 2 gold in my hand as I'm shaking his hand.
Roll a persuasion.
I will
This will
also
be a straight
say
roll.
that if you get rid of him, you get rid of all the food for the feast. So he has to stay.
All right.
Advantage.
I'll give you help. You can have advantage.
Let's just try it out.
Oh, these are good rolls. This is gonna
Remember,
hurt.
it's a D8 now.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm going to just take that 6.
Take the 6. That was your. Are you using those cursed dice again? Yeah.
That's like a 28.
On a 6?
Oh, no, I got a 6 on the...
You roll a
On
d6.
the efficiency
Yeah,
dice.
Oh,
yeah.
you didn't want to re-roll it.
Yeah. No, I had a 6 on proficiency, so I didn't re-roll that.
Well, yeah, you wouldn't
And
anyway.
I had a
but-
14 on the d20.
Very good. Okay. He takes the gold and kind of. Well, are you going to at least make him better?
Oh, yeah, he's fine. He's fine.
Smoldering
I
body.
look at Orion. He's fine.
I use prestidigitation to kind of clean up his appearance.
So prestidigitation
I'm a
will.
wizard.
His armor looks now pristine.
Okay,
But the horrible burns on his
I will
flesh
cast
remain.
Cure Wounds on him.
Okay.
I thought you could do that, but
The wounds slowly begin to close up.
I'm a
and
wizard.
I'm gonna burn all of my spells, just making up for one drinking
Didn't
mistake.
prepare cure wounds for today.
you do manage to recover him to full, and he stands up and dusts himself off.
Turn him
and
into a man.
The 2 guards seem they are very confused, but the crowd around that you have suggested are clapping happily. They seem to be thoroughly entertained by the whole
Good
situation.
job. That was well done. Good drill. I'll shake his hand. Do the same thing. I'll give him 2 gold when I shake his hand. Good show. How about these guys, ladies and gentlemen?
They kind of take the coins, and the one turns to the other one and goes, Jackson, I saw the light at the end of the long, dark tunnel.
All we wanted to do was go out drinking with our buddies, and we ended up accidentally killing a guard almost.
This feels like Scramsack's fault largely.
To be fair, when we were here last time, I seen Scramstacks. He was attacking people.
That's true. He almost killed me.
Okay.
We're not gonna
We're not
bring
holding
that
that against
up to
him.
Scramsacks.
Speaking of which, we better go back in the bar.
Another drink?
Yes.
What am I, one and done?
So you guys head back in, and Scramsax takes the small cask. He just hands it to you, Finn, and he goes, "Go somewhere else.
I'm going to
drink
look
this
at-
out in a field away from everyone."
I'm going to pour out a bunch of gold on the counter and then just slowly move one at a time over until his expression changes.
As he's doing that,
Roll a d20.
can I reach up, start like touch the things that are burned, and start cast mending on them?
Yeah.
Try to start mending stuff.
Yeah, it works. Yeah, it's like they're beginning restored.
Just straight up D20?
Yeah,
15.
it takes 15. You slide over these 15 pieces, and as you do, he just kind of keeps looking at you, and then at the coins, and then at you expectantly. And then after the 15th one, he goes, "Take the ale and go."
It's good to see you, Scramsy.
Always a pleasure. It's never a dull moment with you around.
I glance
take
up
the
at the
mugs?
rafters and just kind of look down and walk out quickly.
I'm taking the mug.
Yeah, sure.
You know, Lonelywood was such a quiet place. I forgot how lively things were when we were all together.
I did miss this, I have to say.
Setting the roofs and people is on fire?
Yeah, no, just us being together. Look, politics ain't all it's cracked up to be.
Oh, I know.
You ain't kidding.
I find it fine.
Hold out the keg.
Well, it's a little easier for you.
So, do you guys find a safe location to drink
king.
this now, or are you just going to drink it in a crowd?
I'm just gonna walk
My-
down the street.
my dad-
Well, here's my suggestion.
Yeah.
We should take it outside, but there are the games going on.
Go to the games.
We should go. There's a field. We can find some open space to drink, and also engage in some competition while we're out there, and make sure that while we drink, we're not around any innocent people.
Indeed.
Well, people die. I can.
Friendly fisticuffs. You
them.
seem a little bit too eager.
I said I could save them.
no,
I said
hold on.
I could save them.
This seems appropriate.
You know, training accidents may be a thing, but for the most part, the goal is not to injure your sparring partners. Just saying.
How about a friendly game of axe throwing? I heard that was going on.
Sure.
Let's go.
Okay, so you guys make your way out of the town so you can safely drink your mead or your ale without incinerating anybody else, and you begin to you find the Thaw games going on, and you can see what is kind of a refreshing sight, an intermingling of Reged tribesmen and 10 townspeople. It seems that the spirit of competition is alive in both parties, and there are a number of events going on. The one that most of your tribesmen are interested in, the ones are the archery competitions and the axe throwing competitions, given that they are hunters primarily. However, you can see that there is a long table that is set up where there is some kind of drinking game that is being put together, or that has been put together, provided with a lot of mead from good mead. And there are there's axe-beak jousting that is going on as well. They have a series of axe-beak birds, which are kind of like ostriches that have, rather than just a normal ostrich face, a large beak that is sort of the shape of an axe head. And they're large enough to be ridden on, and they are all fitted out with custom harnesses and saddles, with long wooden poles that are ready to be jousted with. And really, it's like going to like your own little 10 towns Ren fair. There's jousting, there's drinking, there's axe throwing and archery, everything you could ever wish to partake in. So, what interests you first?
Well, should we start with the axe throwing?
Or the drinking and then the axe throwing.
Well, I assumed we just continue drinking the whole time.
Okay, that's fair.
Slow but steady.
What
Keep
could
buzz, carry it through the rest of the night.
I'm trying to get drunk as fast as possible. This is a competition, did you never forget?
As much as I would
Are you
like.
backing out?
I like the new
You gotta go to sleep
overzealous
early?
drinking Finn.
I am a representative of my people and their king. I can't be getting drunk and starting a row.
Do you know what I can do?
What?
I'll tell you my secret. I was going to start casting Lesser Restoration on myself so that I can drink you under the table. That was my plan.
That was
That's a good
also,
plan. I
also
can
my
also do
plan.
that.
I was gonna burn all my spell slots going as hard as I can.
what could possibly
do
go
this?
wrong?
See
Same
who
old
can do
Finn.
the most lesser restorations to keep going for the route.
What? He's a cleric. He's
That's
got
true.
like
I'm a
30
paladin. I have it too.
Well, yeah, but he's got like 30 spell slots or
Okay,
something.
that's fair. He's got more spell slots than I do. No, in the spirit of being the king of my people, I don't want to get drunk and cause a row in a celebration that we're doing with our allies where it could turn into a bloody conflict.
Fair.
So axe throwing then.
Axe throwing.
Ladies and gentlemen, step up, see if you can beat one of the famous heroes of 10 towns, the Iron Wolves, in a competition of axe throwing. It is just, I don't know, 2 gold per person to try. And if you can beat them, you win half the pot.
I thought this was going to be a friendly competition amongst us. You're involving the rest of
Well, there's no reason we can't profit as well.
I'm pretty sure they pay in their taxes to.
Okay.
We don't pay taxes here.
With the entry fee being 2 gold, one person steps in.
All right. Well, whatever you got, come on.
The person who steps in to fill the competitor spot is a hunter. He's burly. He almost reminds you of what a Regedman would look like, or a Regedman's physique. He is
The Yeti hunter.
so he is wearing a cloak that is it's red fur
Whoa,
on the
he got
cloak
it.
itself, and you recognize this to be Yeti fur. And he's got on his head what is the head of a Yeti that he has somehow like fashioned into sort of like a cloak this way. This red Yeti. And he steps forward and, all right, let's see what you got. And you guys line yourselves up in front of the various different targets. A crowd has gathered to see how the Iron Wolves will fare against the killer of the Red Yeti. So we're going to go ahead and roll.
Hold on, sir. Just
Linus.
one moment.
Linus,
Let's make this a little more interesting.
are you running for re-election?
Yeah,
Maybe you should cover everyone's $2 2 gold fee so that everyone can play. That would be a
This is met with a rounding, like a rousing
glorious
what
person.
are you doing to me, Finn? Yes, I will cover it. Hey, vote Linus. Anyone from East Haven or looking to move to East Haven, that's Linus Maxwell, Linus the Great, sometimes known as Linus the Wonderful, Linus the Well-Endowed. You've probably heard many of my names. Whatever it is, write it in. Vote Linus.
You've earned 12 votes. You paid for 12 votes.
You guys better win.
So you've collected, or you've put in your own money, I guess. This is pot. 12 people are going to sign up for this. So that's 24 gold. So it's 2 per person. The Red Yeti Hunter is putting his own, so that's 26. And then you guys are just entering for free. So who else is participating in the...
I only have 6 gold, so I'm not going to.
Why are you always so poor?
Okay.
We raided dungeons.
Let's go ahead and make attack
he's a holy
rolls.
man.
And we'll make it really easy. Honestly, the highest attack roll is the one who wins.
Okay.
I'll roll it out in the open, actually.
Oh, crap.
Make your attack.
Orion does not participate. Instead, he simply crosses his arms and watches.
So, Nasher, what was your roll?
Can I use this attack roll?
Declare inspiration before you use it.
Oh, that's right.
Baldur's Gate has taught you wrong.
You rolled a natural 19.
32.
32? Would you roll a nat 20?
18.
Natural 18 and really high in the proficiency
Yes.
dice. Very awesome. What was your roll?
And
13. I rolled a nat
13.
2.
Okay.
That's pretty
Homeboy rolled a 24. And so you guys watch. Nasher, as you take your hand axe, you bring it back and you whip it forward with enough force to break the bullseye. You hit it dead center and just break it in half. The hunter throws his axe and it lodges very neatly but off center. And it seems that you have an individual down there is collecting the axe heads or the axes afterwards, and he can't pull it out of the thing. Njord, your axe flies forward and does hit the bullseye, but it is off center. It's a little further off center. And so there is a rousing chorus and cheer as Nasher makes 26 gold from everybody betting in their things. And the Iron Wolves have proven their stalwartness and abilities.
I will turn to the man with the red Yeti. Privately. So, I don't know if maybe you've heard. I'm running this little underground fight club in East Haven. I think you might just have what it takes. It's called the Rat Skeller. Ask around at night and find me. Oh, and you didn't hear this from me. And vote Linus.
I will take that into consideration, little man.
Very good.
He kind of just gives you a hearty slap on the back and turns and makes way. It was a pleasure. I have drink to drink and food to eat. And he turns and begins to make his way away. What other festivities would you like to partake in?
axe beak jousting, obviously, right?
Of course.
It seems like the natural
Let's-
progression, yeah.
Let's.
It was rather entertaining to say the least. Give it a go.
Orion, are you in?
Okay. I mean, how hard could it be riding a creature bouncing across the ground when I have soared through the skies?
Exactly.
As it turned out, it was incredibly different.
Yes, it was. Who is jousting? Oh, yes. All the... Huh?
I'll watch.
Watching the jousting. You're too old for jousting.
Unfortunately.
Linus sits it out. All right. You guys each find an axe beak that you are able to ride. And you're given really just a very, very quick crash course on riding an axe beak itself by a man who is shorter than like normal. He's something like 5'3" and is he's bald. He has a goatee and with a very long mustache that comes away from his face, and sort of a like a almost like a greasy kind of individual. And as you guys come around, okay, now listen, it's very, very simple, right? All you have to do is sit here, hold on to the reins, and what I'll do, I'll just do everything. You just sit there. Your job really is just hold the joust, all right, as straight as you can, and don't fall off. I will handle everything else. What I'll do is just give the axe beak a swift little swat on the rear, and it just charges forward. We have set up this nice little range here for it. It can't, it won't really jump out of here or anything. Aim for the other guy. If you hit him, great. And if you don't, hey, look, it was free, so enjoy it. And you guys are set up to participate in the jousts. So because there's three of you, one of you gets a bye. We're going to roll a d6, and whoever roll the highest, let's do a d20. Whoever gets the highest is the one who gets the bye.
I'm gonna be like the corner man for each of these guys when it's their turn.
Each of them?
Well, they're not going against each other, are they?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, they are?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Never mind then.
4.
11.
17.
Okay, so Njord, you get the bye. And so the two of you get to ride against each other first. Now, you're going to make 2 rolls. Your first roll is going to be a dexterity check to stay on the saddle as the axe beak is rushed into like a charge. And then your second roll will be your joust attack, which we will call, we'll say an attack roll, an attack roll without your proficiency bonus, unless you're proficient with spears.
Who's going right now?
Nasher.
Martial weapons,
Okay.
right?
I'm gonna make
martial weapon. Yeah, so you're proficient. As wizards aren't proficient with spears, are they?
No.
A lance is a martial weapon.
Well, they're using it like a lance, so I think that's fair.
Yeah, that'll work. Okay, so go ahead and make your dexterity checks first.
Njord.
Yay.
I've got
I should roll a 5.
5.
19.
Okay.
Oh.
You get advantage on your attack roll against him, and but you are proficient with lances, so you can go ahead and use your proficiency bonus. So no proficiency bonus for you though as you make your attack roll.
Yep.
So yeah, go ahead, make attack rolls.
And then, so we'll see if that's higher than a 14. The 14 was a higher roll, so we'll go with the 14. 21.
Wow.
Thank you for the blast.
21.
A blast line one lasts a minute.
1 minute.
Unless you blessed him
never
long
mind.
ago.
That.
Oh.
Sorry.
Okay, so -4 from that then.
Oh, no bless?
So 17
No less,
then?
-4.
Okay.
My bad. Yeah, it's a minute.
That's going to be
They both had it. It was
Try to drink it within a minute.
17s.
19.
19. Okay, so as you guys charge forward on your axe beaks, Nasher, it is a little cumbersome to stay on such a bizarre creature. Orion, however, you are familiar with riding on creatures that are not horses and a little more outlandish, given that you have a pet griffin, and you kind of adapt yourself to it relatively quickly, even as you're being lined up, or as the axe beak is being guided and lined up for you. You pretty much get the hang of it right away. That being said, as you charge forward, Nasher, your proficiency and skill with a weapon is something that is not easily matched. As you charge forward, you manage to maneuver the weapon in a way that you land the dull end of the lance pretty squarely into Orion's chest. And give me a dexterity check. Hear the sound effect.
14.
Okay, you do knock him off of the axe beak and are brought around for a second bout.
As a reaction, I cast Featherfall and drift lightly to my elven feet.
There you are. Yeah, perfectly fine. Now, we
that
will
hurts a
have
little bit.
Nasher and Njord together. Go ahead and give me dexterity checks to see how well you ride.
19.
19.
14.
14. So, Njord, you adjust to this rather quickly. You have your own steed, as I recall.
Yeah, I can summon my own steed.
Right. And so you similarly are familiar with riding on the backs of such creatures. And Nasher, despite having been on one for your second bout now, you're still kind of getting the hang of it. Go ahead and make attack rolls. You get advantage. Njord gets advantage. Yeah.
13.
26.
All right. So, squarely landing the dull lance into Nasher's chest, you are dethroned from your previous victory and brought tumbling to the ground. It doesn't hurt you. And you, Njord, are just met with a rousing cheer and cries of tempest as the nomads who are around expected nothing less from their warrior king.
I raise up my shattered, feeble lance in the air.
As there are the cries of victory and cries of tempest, there is you can hear sort of like a gasp, and you look over, and somebody is off to the side. He has a mug in his hand, and is coughing and kind of grabbing at his chest, and he seems to be choking. And someone around him is slapping in the back, and people are generally just assuming that he's pretty much okay. And you can see he kind of drops to his knees and he coughs, and out of his mouth is a torrent of black ichor and blood. Awesome.
Spare the dying.
He raises his hand up and he coughs again, and you can see in his palm are 2 molars. 2 of his own teeth he has coughed out of his face. He looks up with panicking eyes and opens his mouth as if to say something, and what you think you see is a massive swollen tongue. And instead, what falls out of his mouth is a long purple tendril. His body begins to change before your eyes. You can hear bones cracking and snapping. You watch as his head seems to elongate before you. His hair, which was a thick auburn color, falls out in large chunks. You can see his hand coming together, his fingers forming into strange 3-fingered claw-like appendages, hands. His body elongating to be much taller than a normal person. And in a matter of moments, what stands before you is a creature that you've seen before and you recognize. A mind flayer. You look around and you can hear, well, people are screaming in terror first off, and they're beginning to run away. And as you look around, you can see that he is not the only one to have met this strange sort of transformation. There are no less than 3 others who are at this very moment undergoing the same horrific metamorphosis. Go ahead, around the table. Linus, what was your initiative?
21.
21. Nord.
19.
Nasher's 14.
14 for Nasher. Orion?
20.
20. And Finn.
4.
It's good old paladin speed. Except you're not
Cleric.
For the cleric. Okay, so Linus is surprised, Orion is surprised, Njord is surprised, Nasher is surprised.
Can't be surprised.
Mind flayers are surprised.
I can't be surprised. We can't. None of us can be surprised.
Oh, okay. What I mean is,
we are surprised.
What I mean is, Finn is the first one to act because he said that he was going to do that. So, Finn, I will let you cast Guiding Bolt at one of them.
All right, I was just going to do... Which one do I see first? 1, 2, 3? Oh,
Well, you see, the one you see first is the one you saw transform, and then you look around, and then 3 others that you could see were suffering the same fate.
I'll do this one.
Okay.
This one over to my right. I'm going to do Guiding Bolt. Let's do a second level.
So there's one in the bleachers far down on our right,
spell.
and then there's one close to us on the left, and then we see 2 on the other side of the jousting arena.
New
Just so people know. People.
Yes. Yeah.
Sorry, new spell, so it's...
Guiding Bolt.
14.
A 14 will miss.
I'm dead
You
inside.
turn and instinctively release your bolt of radiant energy. It flies from your fingertips and scatters into the ground next to the creature.
I was scared to hear it.
What you were concerned that you would hit somebody else with it as well, because there are crowds of people who are fleeing the area, given that there are these horrible monsters up here.
Fair.
All right, so at the top of the initiative round now, Linus.
Okay, so there's one like 10 feet to my left. I'm going to turn at that one. I'm going to shoot a fire bolt.
Go for it.
Fling one at his face there. Okay, so that's going to be 20 to hit.
That hits.
And that's 3d10. It's going to be 21 damage.
You turn to it and release your bolt of flame. It strikes into its body and it turns and noodles at you.
Then I'm going to scooch past. Who's right next to me? That's
Orion.
Who's that? Orion. I'm going to switch next to him so I'm not next to this thing. So I'm going to go behind Orion, and then I'm going to say to Orion, I'll just stand there, kill it, and you're going to get a D8 Bardic Inspiration.
Okay.
I'm done.
Speaking of, Orion, it's your turn.
Interesting choice of timing. So, Orion, upon witnessing this horrifying event of several citizens suddenly turning into squidlings, squidbillies, as you were, will turn and he'll just kind of glance back at his companion. Soon enough, all right? And he'll step up next to Nasher and place a hand upon his back and whisper, "Show them the ferocity of this plains beasts." And he will cast the spell Polymorph on Nasher, and threads of light begin to wrap around him tighter and tighter and tighter until they weave into an enormous giant ape, like pulling Nasher up into the center of it until he's completely out of sight, surrounded as he becomes this beast. And then Orion will draw forth the cylinder that he kept at his hip and twist the dial of runes on it and words in Celestial, so anyone who can see it. For a brief instant, a series of Celestial script springs forth from the cylinder, drawing itself and forming into a blade before glowing so bright as the sun, into a sunblade. With a snap hiss. And that'll end his turn.
Okay. Njord.
First and foremost, DM, do I see my family anywhere here?
Give me a perception check.
Dord.
I am proficient, so I will... Efficiency? That'll make it a little bit better. 8.
All you see are just a sea of people running away.
Alrighty.
You can't pick out. You kind of give a quick glance around, you can't pick out any individual person.
All right. One moment here, because I am worried for my family first and foremost. I yell out to the nearest Reged warrior that I can see that's nearby. And I tell him to find Torfi and my sons and protect them with his life.
Okay.
So I do that as a free action, just yelling to one of my warriors.
Go for it.
To find my wife and children and protect them. And I have 4 enemies around me. I am going to move... There's one closest to us, and there's a bunch of squishy dudes behind me. I'm going to run through the rest of my party directly towards the nearest enemy and face him head on. And as I go running through, I see Nasher turned into this giant ape. At first, he was worried Nasher wasn't armed, but seeing him now in this form, he is able to switch up his strategy on the fly. He is going to cast Divine Favor. Oh, wait, no. Do I want to do that, or do I want to do... What is this one? Oh, that's a full action to cast. Sure, why not? I haven't used it yet. We're going to cast Crusader's Mantle as he goes rushing forward. Doesn't actually cast this. And what that does is it is concentration for up to a minute. Holy power radiates from you in an aura within 30-foot radius, waking boldness in friendly creatures. Until the spell ends, the aura moves with you, centered on you. While in the aura, each non-hostile creature in the aura, including you, deals an extra D4 radiant damage when it hits with a weapon attack. So if you're within 30 feet of me, you do an extra D4 on any of your weapon attacks of radiant damage. So as he goes forward, he does that. And he is concentrating on that spell. That is his action, so that will be his turn.
Okay. As you turn and begin to you cast your spell, you call out to Tempest and more or less begin to sing your battle song. And that is kind of inspiring your allies as you step to face this horrible mind flayer, this tentacled floating creature before you. Nasher.
Giant ape Nasher lets out a furious roar and charges towards the mind flayer furthest from his friends, trying to distract him with what limited intelligence he has.
Are you going this one or the other one?
I'm going to go... That works right there,
great.
all the way across the field.
Right.
Going to keep them away. And he will swing 2 mighty fists at this foul creature before him.
You are unfortunately outside of my 30-foot radius, so you aren't going to get the radiant damage. Just FYI.
I am a giant ape, and I do not know better.
Fair enough.
Okay, that'll be...
I'd say because it's a polymorph, just to use its flat plus some...
Okay, yep. So... Plus 9, 22.
That will hit.
Okay, and that's going to be 3d10 plus 6. Yeah, I'm going to do it. Here we go. That's laggy. Oh! Look at that. 21 plus 6, so that'll be 27 for the first fist.
Okay.
And then I shall swing again. That'll be a 21 to hit. Mm-hmm. And I will do the same thing. There. Alright, that's going to be 29 on the second hit.
Mind flayer bodies are weak and fragile compared to strong, thick ape arms as you go charging across the field on all fours, your massive trunk-like arms carrying your body along. You release two powerful fists into the Mind Flayer before you, and it basically doubles over as you can feel its bones like shattering within its fragile in its film-covered purple flesh. Anything else?
That'll be all.
All right. Now, the Mind Flayer that is over there, that is about 20 or 30 feet away from the rest of the party. He floats forward, so he's within range, and he is going to release a blast of mental energy. He's going to be back about 5 feet. Yep. And he's going to release a blast of mental energy at that group. So everybody in that group, which I think is everyone except for Nasher, is going to have to make an intelligence saving throw.
A good thing.
I'm gonna use my inspiration.
Sure.
Unfortunately, so you, Orion, you are within 10 feet of me, so you take advantage of my +3 to saves. The other two of you are 15 feet away, so you do not benefit from that, unfortunately. What kind of saving throw was it again, Levi?
Intelligence.
Intelligence saving. I am not good at those.
It's a 14 for me.
Possible.
With advantage. Did you
Yes,
use your
yes, with
inspiration?
advantage.
Okay.
I'll use my inspiration.
Using inspiration.
+1 there.
Okay. What was it? 11?
14 over.
Or 14?
17.
17.
14.
14.
15.
15. Okay. Orion and Linus, you will both take the full 23 points of psychic damage, and you are stunned.
I will burn a reaction to burn a spell slot to reduce the ability's damage.
Okay.
Yeah, we're just gonna burn a level 3 spell to reduce the damage by 15.
Sure. The other two of you, that is Finn and Njord, you don't take any damage. As the creature floats forward, it releases its mental energy, and all of you can feel... Do you guys want to close those windows? Is the smoke getting to us, or is it just me?
I did smell it. It was getting a little bit hefty, but I hadn't noticed as much.
Someone's out there burning something. And so you guys can feel what basically amounts to psychic screaming in your head. It's it sounds like it's confusion and anger all rolled into one thing. And so both of you then you can reduce your damage. Both of you then are stunned. The next Mind Flayer, which is the one that is right before you, Njord, is going to rise up and... I need you to make a saving throw of some kind. He is going to hit you with...
Dealer's choice.
Just
Yeah, you
try to live.
Actually, no. Rather than that, he is going to just attack you with his tentacles.
All right. AC is 18.
Yucky.
He roll an 18. Exactly.
Tickle your face.
So he is going to hit you for... 15 points of psychic damage, and you are grappled. As he basically, his hands grab onto your shoulders, and then the tentacles wrap around your face and like kind of wrap around behind you. You didn't know what was underneath a Mind Flayer's tentacles, and you wish now that you still didn't know.
Alrighty. I did roll a natural 20, dirty 20 on my concentration check on my spell.
Perfect.
They should have a beak.
Next, we have that one. It turns to a crowd of people who are facing away and releases its mind blast, and you guys can see basically all of them just fall dead before the creature. He has caught like 7 people in a single blast. Now, the Mind Flayer stands before you, Nasher, and who was just beaten within an inch of his life by these massive gorilla arms, is going to go ahead and make you roll a wisdom saving throw.
He has monkey.
That'll be a 15.
Okay. You feel words begin to fill your head. You're quite strong. Oh, that's right. You have the ring of mind shielding. You feel a knock on your mind's door.
Go away.
Okay.
Nobody's home.
The ring of mind shield only protects you from telepathic communication.
Communication, yeah, I can refuse
Okay.
to let them talk to me.
You feel a will imposing upon you, and that will is encouraging you to use your strong monkey arms and to go attack that guy. And you feel the will kind of pointing you towards your elf companion, Orion. Finn.
All right, I'm going to cast Spirit Guardians at this fifth level. Whenever a creature within 15 feet of me starts to turn there, they got to make a wisdom save.
Okay.
I should take a step over towards that one. I think that's close enough. And then bonus action, I'm going to cast. It's fine. And then bonus action, I'm going to cast Spiritual Weapon behind this one. Spiritual Weapon.
That's awesome.
Nice.
You can make an attack the turn it shows up.
And then I'm going to attack it with a Spiritual Weapon.
What form does your spiritual weapon take?
I don't know.
Simple.
A
You worship
scale?
a god of death.
There you go.
A shovel.
A shovel.
Yeah. Dig holes.
The god of death, the god of the undertakers.
Just makes a noise when it hits somebody.
I got to click cast on it for 1 second. Spiritual Weapon, 2nd level. There we go. All right. Are we using proficiency die with this as well? Or
Yeah.
No? Okay. Change it on my sheet. Natural 20.
Hey,
Oh, nice.
crit.
Oh, and I crit the proficiency die with an 8.
So you'll max the dice and then roll them again.
Yeah, that's it. Right.
You've cast it at second level, it's a D8
Yep.
for damage. So it's 8 plus
Okay.
whatever you roll.
Plus 5. 15.
15 points. Against that one.
Right. And that one.
Alrighty. Was it a shovel or a sickle?
Sickle.
A sickle appears and slices into the creature's back. It gurgles in pain. Is that it?
Yep.
Alrighty, Linus.
Stunned.
You are stunned. At the end of your turn, make an intelligence saving throw.
14 again.
You are still stunned.
Oh my gosh.
Orion, you're stunned as well, I think. Oh, if you're stunned, I don't know if you can I don't know if you can use reactions. Actually, now that I think about it.
The thing that caused the stunning was what I was reacting to. So the reaction is not to like the after effect. It's simultaneous.
Okay, we'll go with it. Go ahead and at the end of your turn, make an intelligence saving throw.
Cool. I'm going to use Linus's inspiration.
Sure.
Intelligence saving throw. I am proficient. Dice, would you betray me? What? No, that's fine. Hey, no, that was a, let's see, so that was a 7, 6, 13, 21.
You manage to shake off the intense mental bind that you found, and you are no longer stunned. Yorn,
7 was a 2.
there is behind Mind Flayer's tentacles is what amounts to like a sort of
is over there.
jagged, spiky beak, and it is chomping at your face with clear intent to eat your face.
Yes. I don't like that.
With intent to nom.
No one would.
So I'm going to attempt to break the grapple.
Yes, you need a strength check, please.
Strength check.
And you can use athletics if you like.
Athletics. That's much better because I'm proficient with that. That gives me a bigger bonus. $20.
You manage to pry the tentacles off of your head and pull yourself away, so you are no longer grappled.
Alrighty. Is that considered one of my 2 attacks?
No, that's your action.
That is an action to break the grapple. Okay. In that case, I will produce my own spiritual weapon behind this creature
Sweet.
that is in front of me. And it will attack. $21 to hit.
Oh, yeah.
And then that is going to be a D8 plus 3 plus 1d4 radiant damage, which is enough. $11.
Okay. Is that it?
And that will end my turn.
Alrighty, Nasher, monkey.
Great Ape Nasher would like to grab the Mind Flayer in front of him and throw him at the other Mind Flayer.
Okay. So, sorry, as a little side note, spiritual weapons don't count as creatures for the purpose of Crusader's Mantle.
You
As a
are
side-
correct. I only did 1 radiant damage, so
That's all right. Well, I'm not gonna worry about it, but just for future reference, you're gonna grab the Mind Flayer and throw him.
Yes.
Go ahead and make a grapple check. So you're gonna make an athletics check, and he's gonna use acrobatics. Okay.
Snake Eyes!
Natural 1.
Double.
2 natural. Oh, and on the proficiency does. Easy enough. Despite his weakened state, he is quite elusive. And what's worse is that he's floating slightly off the ground. As you reach for him, he just simply kind of hovers out of your grasp.
Does that count as an attack or just an action?
It was one of your attacks.
Okay, then I'll attack again.
Same thing, grapple?
No. Nah, I'm just going to punch him this time.
Okay.
That'll be a 17.
That will hit.
Okay, 17. That's going to be 3d6. 3d10 plus 6. That's what I'm doing here. That's not
Let me mine.
No. That's a big hit. That's going to be 34.
I have a question for you. Do you think that a Mind Flayer is weaker at the neck, or do you think they are weaker at the shoulders?
I think that a gigantic monkey fist slamming into the body would probably dislodge any weakness. So let's go with the neck. Yeah.
Neck. You slam your fist into his chest, and then with your other hand, grab his head and pull his head off of his shoulders. You seem to have chosen correctly. You think that they are indeed very weak at the neck.
That'll be my turn.
Okay. Now, Mind Flayer 1 is the one that is, I think, within your Crusader's Mantle, or your spiritual guardians.
correct.
So he has, what happens?
Wisdom save.
Wisdom save.
Beat his half while he's in it.
Okay. Oh, wow, okay. He is going to fail this.
17.
7.
Okay, then he takes 5d8.
Okay. Well. Bunch of dice.
17. 3. 28.
28 points?
Yeah.
Of Radiant? Sure. Okay. Well, it's not very happy with that at all, as your spiritual guardians swarm around it. It is going to... Oh, let's see if it has its mind blast again. All right, it's going to mind blast again. It recovered. Each creature in that cone, which is all 4 of you, so that is Njord and Orion and Linus and Finn, need to make intelligence saving throw. Oh yeah, use your inspiration.
Yeah, I'm
token.
using my...
As well.
Of course.
Good thing to turn and burn them.
I'm very glad I did that.
Okay, so what was your saving throw?
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20.
20.
20.
17.
17.
6.
6. Linus, you take 22 points of psychic damage and you are stunned.
You can't double stun me.
Still stunned.
It's that old age.
Cancel it out.
He is then going to go ahead and float away from the spiritual guardians. And he has a... He's going to move... See, his speed is halved. Right? So, he's going to go away, like backwards towards... He's going to move away from the group of you. And let's go like 3 squares. Yeah, like that. That's pretty good. All right. Next, we have the one who is in front of you. You broke out of his grapple. He did not like that. He is going to try to grapple you again. He is going to go for... You were under Dominate Monster. You should have went and attacked somebody else. Well, you could do it on your next turn, I guess. We'll make that one be the one that's concentrating on the thing instead.
Okay.
Okay. The one in front of you is going to tentacles you, Nasher. Here he goes. He's going to miss.
Take that.
He is then going to... He's smart enough to know that if he moves, he's going to get smacked with something, so he's going to just stay there, I think.
Double stacked, yeah.
All right. That one over there, so the one who is the Mind Flayer who's furthest away, who had attacked and killed the 7 people. Okay. He is going to... We'll say that he spends his turn using the Dominate Monster saving throw that you failed from before, and now he's going to make you go and attack your elf companion, Orion. Okay. And he's going to end his turn after doing that.
You don't know.
Finn.
Okay, I'm gonna look at Nord and say, hit him with all you got, and I'm gonna use my Channel Divinity to cast Path to the Grave on the one in front of him.
Okay.
I'll tell you what it does in a second.
Well, that sounds intense.
It does sound intense.
Path to the Grave. I'll use it to curse one creature I can see within 30 feet until the end of my next turn. The next time you or an ally hits a cursed creature with an attack, that creature has vulnerability to do all attacks damage, and then the curse ends.
Ooh, sweet.
Nice.
So that's my action. Then I'm going to bonus action, move my spiritual weapon this way. I'm going to swing at him.
Go for it.
The scythe
16,
hovers toward
20,
the illithid
21.
and makes a swing.
21 will hit.
All right, that's... I think it's D8. 8 plus 5, 13.
13 points. Yeah. So, as the scythe sort of swipes forward or floats forward and swipes, severing 2 of the Mind Flayer's tentacles.
And then I want to move 30 feet towards the other one.
Okay. And you begin to charge towards the one who is
That's my turn.
over there. Great. Linus, at the end of your turn, please give me an intelligence saving throw.
6.
Your mind is a cacophony of noise. And it seems to be compounded as there is something inside of your mind that seems to be writhing in pain, almost as much as you are. Orion.
Right. Unaware of his monkey companion's mental state, Orion will instead sweep toward Njord's enemy. Brandishing the blade in 2 hands, he will cast Booming Blade as he attempts to beat it to death with a bolt like a blade of radiant light.
Great.
he's going to be good. So that's a 23. All right. So you said I get a D4 extra radiant damage?
Extra D4 radiant damage, as I have continued to concentrate on the spell.
And this character has vulnerability to this.
I'm going to use the dice
He has
roller.
vulnerability, right?
It's the next hit that he takes has vulnerability.
Oh.
So I was hoping Norman's trying to
So
smite
what,
him. but
what
it's
does
fine.
that mean?
I don't know.
He just takes double damage. You roll, and he just takes double the damage.
Whatever you hit him with, it's double.
Yeah, Path of the Grave is dirty.
Oh, okay. Now I'm glad I'm using the dice roller. Okay.
Well, no, you don't have to. You don't roll anything extra. You roll, and then I double whatever you roll.
Okay. That's still going to be nasty.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. That's 19 thunder and at least 5 radiant.
And 5 radiant, so 24 total.
Yes.
Okay. So, I have a question for you. As you move in to attack the Mind Flayer, which part of his body to you seems like the most worthy to remove?
Well, he placed a hand on the king. That hand must be cut off.
You stride forward, sever his hand, and then bring your blade around and stab it into his torso. The Mind Flayer drops from the ground, or from the air to the ground, and then slowly falls backwards.
Dead?
Very dead.
Oh. Well,
I dictate who dies.
cool. Right then. In that case, Orion is going to he'll use a bonus action to enter his blade dance. And we'll move. All the way up to that Mind Flare.
Very quickly, you dash across the field towards the towards one of the other Mind Flayers.
And I will actually make an attack because I get 2.
You do.
Natural 1. I was a little bit excited.
As you go charging forward, you find you have stepped in some axe-beak dung and slide unintentionally like 3 feet further than you intended, and your blade just whiffs.
In the words of Daffy Duck, and trip, and trip, and trip, and trip, and trip, and trip.
End of turn.
Njord.
Njord sees the Mind Flayer he was about to attack, dead, in front of him, is angry that he hasn't got to attack once this entire time, turns with rage, crying the name of Tempest. He's going to run back towards the Mind Flayer that Orion has just attacked, but he's going to remain within 10 feet of Linus. You're going to get a +3 to your next saving throw. You're very welcome. He will then heft Aegis Fang in 2 hands and, crying out the name of his god of war, launch it forth at him as a thrown weapon.
Imagine your god's name is Deborah, and you're like, Deborah!
The name of his god is Deborah.
Burst thrown attack with Aegis Fang is 20.
That will hit.
That will hit. He's going to do the... Wait, hold on. Let me double check the spell. Does it have to be melee or just weapon attacks? Vader's Mantle. Whenever it hits with a weapon attack, it doesn't need to be melee. Perfect. So I do get the D4 extra damage in there. That is +7. I rolled max on both of my dice, so that's 12 plus 7 is 19. And then I will send my second attack.
Hold on. I have a question for you. As you like launch Aegis Fang through the air, is Aegis Fang more likely to deliver a finishing blow on? Is it tumbling through the air as it flies, or is it flying straight?
It's straight and true,
Mjolnir?
like an an arrow, like
Okay.
just the head straight first.
In that case, Orion, as you are sliding on Axebeak dung, you look up just in time to see the flat top edge of Aegis Fang obliterate the Mind Flayer's head. What once was a nasty octopus-like head on a pair of shoulders is now like a exploded, like ribbons of Mind Flayer flesh. As Aegis Fang goes rocketing through the air, then just kind of arcs up and then curves, landing back into Njord's hand.
Alrighty, and then having obliterated that Mind Flayer, Njord will then pivot, turn, and come to here, which is within 60 feet. I will be rolling with disadvantage, but he's going to launch Aegis Fang. As it returns back to his hand, he's running towards the Mind Flayer. Aegis Fang arrives in his hand, and he just takes it with the same momentum that it arrives and throws it 60 feet at the next Mind Flayer.
All right.
Nice.
All right, that is not going to be as good. That is going to be a 10 to hit.
That will miss. Aegis Fang goes flying wide and then arcs back around and returns to your hand.
Alrighty. I'm going to move my spiritual weapon as a bonus action, 5, 10, 15, 20. And that will end my turn.
Nasher.
Okay, so while dominated, Nasher struggles against the control of the Mind Flayer, but still searches around for a large rock, picks it up, and proceeds to throw it at Orion.
Return to monkey.
It's gonna be 21.
Oh. Well, as Orion sees an enormous boulder unexpectedly hurtling from his companion, he will reflexively cast Shield and turn his AC into a 23.
The boulder, to your disappointment, Nasher, as you grab this chunk of rock out of the ground and throw it, at the last moment an arcane barrier springs into existence and the rock smashes into it, breaking into a bazillion pieces.
That'll be all.
Nasher, I'm on your side.
Alright. The fourth Mind Flayer is going to float a little bit closer into range so he can capture all three of you. And so he's going to go ahead and capture Finn, Njord, and Linus again in another Mind Blast. I need all three of you, please. That's Finn, Njord, and Linus to make intelligence saving throws.
All three of us do get a +3 to our saving throws. You are within 10 feet of me.
Okay, so your saving throw was?
10.
6.
18.
All right, so those of you who rolled very poorly are going to take 17 points of psychic damage to both Njord and Linus. 17 points. You don't take anything. And Njord and Linus are still stunned.
Yeah, we got it.
Yeah, thanks. Ray.
Can I maintain concentration while stunned, or does that automatically fail?
Super good question. Let's see here. While stunned, you are incapacitated, you can't move or speak, you automatically fail an attack. Yes, you still maintain concentration. You have to roll to see if you keep it from the damage you took, but you can maintain concentration while stunned.
And that's a wisdom saving throw?
Intelligence.
Intelligence saving throw. No, for concentration.
Oh, for concentration, it's a constitution saving throw.
Oh, constitution saving throw. So that would be... I fail. So I lose concentration on
Mantle.
Crusader's Mantle. There is no longer the additional D4
Got it.
damage.
Finn.
Okay, so the Mind Flayers are born from people and they have tentacles. Would you count that as a plant? Because it grew from a person and it has little tentacles like...
Mind Flayers are not plants.
They're aberrations.
All right, I want to cast
That's a very... I love the way you think about that, but that is not at all how that works.
I'm going to cast Blight at 4th level.
Blight. Okay.
Yeah, you got a Constitution save.
Makes a con save. Here it goes.
Hopefully it's bad.
What's the DC?
17.
It rolled a 17.
It takes half damage.
Yeah.
I'm going to roll it on the thing because it's so much. 35. I have 35.
Half of 35?
Yeah.
Alrighty. Darkness. You guys are kind of familiar with this. You've seen Valen do this a number of times, but a sort of dark tendrils lash out from Finn, wrap into the Mind Flayer, and you could see its already kind of frail body begin to wither slightly before it sort of turns its attention towards Finn in a mental blast. The darkness is shuttered away from it.
I think... Is there anyone dead within 30 feet of me?
There's a dead Mind Flayer.
Is there a dead human that was attacked? Oh, I guess that was farther away than
Within 30 feet.
That's over 30 feet away.
Okay. Oh, I'll just move.
Yeah, so you run past the Mind Flayer, and you find yourself within 30 feet of a corpse.
Spare the dying. I'm going to try attempt to spare the dying.
Oh.
I have a 30 feet range on that.
Spare the dying doesn't work on corpses because it stabilizes.
Touch living creature at 0, so I don't know. I'm just saying.
Yeah. You choose one of the bodies and you kind of reach out with your spell, and it doesn't seem to have an effect.
All right, that's my turn.
Linus, at the end of your turn, please give me an intelligence saving throw.
You do get a +3.
Huzzah!
19.
Hey! Finally, all of the screaming, which again it seems to be compounded by your cranial visitor, you finally managed to snap yourself out of it. Orion.
Let's call it what it is. Linus has a squatter on board.
He does.
Friends now.
Right. So
3 years.
Have you named it yet?
No, we usually
Like a
don't
puppy.
like to name parasites in our
Don't get
minds.
too attached.
So, Orion will move 50 feet. And he's first going to attempt to booming blade it.
Great.
Like before. Okay. So, that is a glorious... Well, I rolled a natural 19 plus 3 plus 5, so... Think that gonna beat that?
Yes.
Groovy. So... Dice roller time!
You no longer get the plus the
Yep, marked it. For a total of 21, so that will be 8 radiant, and then the other 2 will be 11, 12, 13 thunder. Okay, and then I will attack him again.
Great.
Yeah. So, yeah, 8 plus 5, 22. Hit.
Yep.
Okay. So that's just going to be the radiant. Okay. So that's still pretty awesome. That is a 13 radiant damage. And then, as a bonus action, he's going to attempt to telekinetically shove the Mind Flayer back 5 feet. So he has to beat a strength. He has to make a strength saving throw of 16 to resist it.
Okay. This is a magical effect?
The feat telekinetic.
He moves 5 feet.
Triggering Booming Blade's secondary effect of 3 more thunder damage. 3 more d8s of thunder damage.
If the target willingly moves, so he's not willingly moving here.
It says willingly.
Yeah, if the target willingly moves 5 feet or more before then, it takes an extra d8 of thunder damage. The spell ends. So he's not willingly moving here because you're pushing him. But you do manage to sort of shove him, and he kind of floats back after being swiped at by your glowing sunblade. Anything else?
I will relinquish concentration on my ape pal because I do not want to take a boulder to the back, and I don't know what's going on.
Fair enough. Njord.
I have to make an intelligence saving throw.
Yeah, you are stunned at the end of your turn.
You're no longer a
I
monster.
get a +3 because I'm a paladin.
There you go.
The spells, the ability is incompatible.
Not a monster.
21. I'm sorry, just 20. because I
Find
chose negative
things
1 on my
incompatible.
stealth. So
You are no longer stunned.
Cool.
You find yourself regaining your faculties. That ends your turn, Nasher.
Nasher, no longer a giant ape, will simply run over and start punching Orion in the back of the head.
really quick, Levi, DM question. Is the Mind Flayer's mind control ability a concentration ability?
Oh, it is.
Because it's taken multiple swings.
I was wondering about that.
Let's see.
The idea of punching Orion in the back, that's something
Yes,
fun.
I think it was 2 hits.
Yeah, there wasn't
And
a mind
the
control
blade-
thing. You
the
just
blade.
wanted to do
I'm
that.
glad you're unarmed. Oh,
All right, it does drop concentration on your thing, so you're able to act freely.
I'm gonna, instead of punching Orion, I'm gonna run up to the Mind Flayer, and I'm gonna just, I'm gonna get behind it and grapple it.
You're gonna grab it.
Grab it, yep.
Go for it.
they're not used to being grabbed. They're the grabbers.
Strength?
Full Nelson.
Or
Yeah.
attack
Well, you
roll?
make an athletics check against its.
Athletics? Cool. Oh, natural 20.
Oh,
Plus
great.
7, plus 3, 30.
Yeah. Well, you grab him.
Okay. Can I fold him up in front of me? Or just hold him there? That'd be my turn. If I
What do
can't
you,
do anything
you
else.
just hold him.
Can I do anything else to him?
You can still technically
Can I give him a
attack.
nuggie?
Still technically attack.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna punch him in his ear while I got hold of
He
him.
ties his tentacles in
Make an
knots.
unarmed strike.
Oh, that's right, you don't have your weapons on you.
Yeah, it's gonna be
Yeah, you hit.
21.
Yep.
Okay. Another attack is. Where'd my fist at?
Just 1 plus your strength bonus.
1?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. Sure enough. Well, it's gonna be. Oh, so it's 4.
That's still impressive.
Yep.
You know
to his
what?
ear.
The Mind Flayer is going to turn in place, and he is going to attack you with his tentacles.
Go for it.
Huh?
Yeah.
Here it
Close
is.
this.
He's attacking. Natural 19
That hits.
plus some, so you're going to take.
Give me a disadvantage.
He's not at disadvantage when he attacks. He's grappled. 10 points of psychic damage here, and you are also grappled as the tentacles wrap around your face.
Good old reverse grapple.
So you're like holding onto his body.
Mind
But he
Flayer
kind of
love
just
action,
he kind of just turns and the tentacles just like reach. Grab onto
Yeah,
your
the
face.
old
It's a hug.
Fool, you fell into his own plan.
Finn.
Okay. Shucks, I'm at 165 HP.
I'm gonna,
Getting close
I'm
to
gonna
death,
do Toll the Dead on that Mind Flayer.
All right, he makes a save.
Wisdom save.
Wisdom. Correct. He rolled an 18.
That's a save.
Anything else?
No, let me my turn.
Linus.
I can do something.
Hey!
So I like shake off a full 18 seconds of just pain and donkey brains. And I turn and I see a mind flare and I'll move towards it. And can I launch a firebolt at it without injuring the guy who's hugging it?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll do that then. That's 24 to hit.
That will hit.
Oh. 26.
Okay.
2 10s.
Your as you gather up your firebolt and release it at the mind flare, a thought occurs in the back of your head. How flammable are mind flares really? And you are fortunate enough to find out the answer, which is apparently pretty flammable. And so, Nasher, the mind flayer who has grabbed onto you, suddenly you feel the tentacles kind of weaken and slowly begin to slide off of your head as the mind flayer seems to be meeting a similar fate to the individual that Njord had earlier incinerated with his fire breath, and he falls to the ground now, a smoldering wreck, or a smoldering.
Haha, still got it. As I just point at Nasher as he sees that I launched that firebolt at that creature he was making out with.
Fresh fried calamari.
Hey! That was mine.
Yeah, it looked like you had a handle.
You're all slimy and stuff.
Are there any more? As I look around.
It is chaos around you. The people of the fair are rushing away, trying to get back into the city itself, and you begin to feel the ground starting to tremble around you a bit, and you can see from where you are, off in the distance, over the small town of Dugan's Hole, something that for each of you you feel your heart drop into your stomach. Flying over Dugan's Hole is very clearly a dragon. And we are going to end the session there.